feel like an old grandpa. You know, when I was your age, we walked to and from school, uphill both ways in a snowstorm. Coach Greg, and in today's video, we're going over Samuel Berge's incredible transformation. And so, not everyone who makes an amazing transformation has millions of followers. He only has 1.4 thousand followers. And so, what is the lesson? Well, do it for you. Who cares how many followers he has? Does it matter? The Rock knows it doesn't matter. Yet he got 128,000 views on that video where he shows his transformation. He started off at 62.8 kilograms. He'd been training from the age of 15 to 18, hardly made any progress. And the first thing I noticed about his physique was that he was too lean. The guy had single-digit body fat. He was probably trying to maintain with single-digit body fat, but he wasn't eating enough. He wasn't fueling his body. And so if you're not eating enough, you perhaps have lower testosterone levels, you're not going to build muscle. And so for the most part, 95% of people, well, they don't need to bulk. But this guy, he clearly did. He clearly needed to eat more. And for the most part, people think that it's mostly women who suffer from disordered eating, that it's only women who are starving themselves. Yet, look at this guy's physique. He was clearly shredded, but how could he put on size if he wasn't eating enough? And you're thinking, well, no, that's not true. Look at Tristan Lee. Look at Jeff Cavalier. Well, for the most part, 95% of people, they're not going to be able to build muscle when they're this lean. You have to stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop thinking that you can be shredded year-round and put on a bunch of muscle. Even Alex Eubank thinks his shoulders and arms are small. Guy has millions of followers. Yet he has body dysmorphia, doesn't like the way he looks, contemplating the use of performance-enhancing drugs. And so Samuel Berge, he's sharing his message. He's explaining how he put on all of that muscle. The no bullshit guide. How I went from skinny to muscular fast. And how many thousands, millions of views does this video have? Well, 638. Period. 638. Yet people are watching millions of views on TikTok or YouTube Shorts where they explain nothing. Useless information that doesn't help anyone. Yet this guy puts himself out there, says exactly what he did, trying to help people. But only 638 people watched it. And so to me, it's sad to see this. This guy has a great video. Not so many people are watching. And so I wanted to highlight what he did in order to make this amazing transformation.
I had to put on the weight, but you don't seem to be able to put on anything substantial. Despite you eating thousands upon thousands of calories and you go to the gym and train hard, you're still skinny.
And so he states, I was unhappy, I was skinny, I didn't have a lot of muscle, and despite eating thousands and thousands of calories, I wasn't able to get bigger. And so here's the truth. Calories in, calories out. You might think you're eating thousands and thousands of calories. Yeah, thousands and thousands. 2,000 calories a day. Perhaps that's not enough. If you're this lean, this skinny, perhaps single-digit body fat, and you're not putting on muscle, you do in fact need to eat more. Now, if you're overweight and or obese, you don't need to consume extra calories in order to gain weight. And what do I always preach? To main gain. But when you're too small and you're too lean, you can't main gain. You have to increase your body fat percentage to a healthier zone in order to have the proper hormones, to have the fuel to build muscle. And so he states, I finally figured it out. I finally broke the cycle. I did what I had to do to finally pack on this muscle. And I'm here to share with you exactly what I did.
And for you to do this, you need to understand some key nutritional information alongside understand that it's actually much easier than you think.
And so he states it's actually a lot easier than you think. And I 100% agree with this. I know so much. I've studied this for years. But for the average person, especially a teenager who's starting from scratch, they don't know any of the basics. Think of it. From the age of 15 to 18, what could he possibly know? And so he states, don't fall for the fitness bullshit like he did. And shows a picture of V-Shred.
Like I did. When I needed someone to tell me exactly how to do it, you'll realize that you can do it.
And so he was about 19 years of age. His mental state was, in his words, awful, was having mental health difficulties, and he was fluctuating between 60 and 62 kilograms, or about 135 pounds. And as you can see, the guy is shredded. Too lean, especially while being natural, to properly make progress at his age.
Weighed about 60, 62 kg. I was 7 times a day. My sleep, my motivation and clarity.
He states he was playing with the downstairs, never had problems with that, was doing that 7 times a day, wasted his time chasing the dopamine, and finally said, enough is enough. I gotta fix myself.
Completely off and out of line. So this leads me to our first point, is to fix your mental health first.
And so step number one for him was to fix his mental health. Whatever you're struggling with, whatever demons you're battling, you need to be proactive and deal with those and solve them right now. Stop putting them on the back burner. Stop thinking, oh, I'll conquer that tomorrow or next week, next month, next year. Do it now. You have to. You owe it to yourself.
So you're probably asking, how can you improve your mental health? No, I don't claim to be.
And so his number one tip, and remember, he's not stating he's a medical professional. He's not saying he's an expert. But what helped him the most was staying off social media. And this falls exactly in line with what I've been stating. And remember, I'm not a medical expert either. But I have been telling people, stop comparing yourself to other people. There's always going to be somebody online who's taller, better looking, stronger, has more muscle, or is leaner than you.
You cannot compare yourself to me or anyone on social media. Now that doesn't mean don't aim high. It just means you need to compare yourself with yourself.
So if you continue to compare yourself to other people, you see those amazing transformations or guys winning Olympia, people perhaps abusing performance-enhancing drugs, you're going to think, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. You feel inferior, you think your shoulders and arms aren't big enough, you start crash dieting, and no wonder you're not making progress.
When I was in a rut myself, the main cause of that was that I was just mindlessly scrolling, and all this resulted in...
And so when you're mindlessly scrolling, perhaps you're playing video games, you're using social media all the time, you're getting all this dopamine with absolutely no work whatsoever. And so rather than that, you need to get your dopamine through hard work. For example, you go to the gym, you train hard, and that releases dopamine, you feel good. You're entering a bike race, you're training harder than last time, and you see the results you're getting from all that hard work you're putting in. You're studying, going to school, going to work, earning money through hard work, and you're getting dopamine. But you're getting that dopamine because you're putting in the work. You're training harder than last time, studying, working on your physique, rather than letting life pass you by swiping left, right, or scrolling up and down. And so he had to detox himself from the mindless scrolling he was doing. He literally got rid of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all those kind of things. And he said, enough is enough. Now, I'm not saying you have to delete these things, but certainly stop looking them as often and stop comparing yourself to the images that you're seeing. If you do keep comparing yourself, you're going to realize you're never going to feel good enough. And so rather than comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to yourself. This is your new benchmark. How are you feeling right now? And tomorrow, you're going to do better. Whatever effort you put in today, put in more effort tomorrow. You don't have to double your efforts. Just work a little bit harder. And slowly over the course of days, weeks, months, years, you're going to continue to improve. It's called progressive overload. And so why not progressive overload your life? And so rather than sitting there alone in the dark and swiping left and right and using social media, go and actually hang out with your friends. Actually spend quality time talking to other human beings. And if not human beings, get out there in nature. Go take your dogs for a walk. Go and visit a park, hiking, pick up a sport, have some fun. Go out, mingle, socialize.
You need to understand when you do withdraw from excessive social media use and mindlessly scrolling, that you will feel low temporarily. And this is a normal withdrawal process. And
so he cautions you, remember, when you first stop looking on social media, you're going to feel low. It's going to suck for a while because you're not getting that dopamine. The same applies to if you're drinking coffee all day. You switch from regular coffee to decaf, you're not going to feel as good. But over time, your body will readapt. You'll get used to it. And then you'll get dopamine from other areas. For example, going to the gym, going for hikes, talking to your friends. And again, you can become a normal human being like it was in the good old days, like when I was growing up. I feel like an old grandpa. You know, when I was your age, we walked to and from school, uphill both ways in a snowstorm.
Now, the next step is to find out how many calories you need in order.
He then states you should go on the computer to figure out how many calories you need to properly gain weight. Now listen. That is just a guess. And so my suggestion, you weigh yourself in the morning, perhaps 5 days a week. You might forget a couple days, and you take the middle number. You cross out the two lows, the two highs, you take that middle number, and you just eat. And the next week, you do the same thing. And if your weight is going up, then continue doing what you're doing. If your weight is going down, eat more. Do you need to track your calories? No. For the most part, 95% of people, they can't even track calories, even using a fitness app. Even coaches have a hard time. And so although it works, it makes sense, eat this number of calories. If you're not gaining weight, add 100, 200, whatever calories. But in the reality of the real world, labels lie. They're often 20% over or under. People don't know how to track their portion sizes. And so no one really knows how many calories they're actually eating. I don't, in fact, calculate how much I'm eating. I know it's about 3,500, but I know that because I have experience. And so all you really need to do is to look in the mirror and weigh yourself on a scale. And if you're getting better, keep doing what you're doing. If you're losing too much body fat, you're not building muscle, then of course eat more. It really is that simple. He did state it's easier than you think. It's even easier than he thinks. You don't need to count calories. You don't need to download an app. You just need to weigh yourself, look in the mirror, and keep progressive overloading.
It's literally as simple as consuming more than you burn. I know that my surplus is over 3,000. So as long as I'm eating over 3,000 calories every day, then I'm going to gain weight.
And so he states, I need it to be over 3,000 calories. As long as over 3,000, I'm going to gain weight. Well, yes and no. What if you're more active on one day? You went for a walk, a hike. You might in fact burn more than 3,000 calories. Or you're less active. You hardly moved at all that day. Do you really need to eat 3,000? And so that 3,000 should be going up and down. And so when I do diet programs for people, customized programs, I have a variety of calories for every single day. Sometimes they might eat 2,500 calories, other days 2,800. And on a lower day, perhaps it's 2,200. And so everyone has a range. Also, you can have off meal plans. You don't have to follow an exact diet. You can go off the diet and eat like a normal human being. You go to a restaurant with your friends, you don't have to say, I'm going to continue to eat chicken, broccoli, and rice. And of course, if you're looking to lose weight, you can get my freaking cookbook, Cookbook 2.0, low-calorie, voluminous recipes, lots of protein, help you to stay full, makes it easier to diet. And if you need instructions on how to lose weight, keep it off for the rest of your life, get my Circle Diet book, my life's work. If you read and understand this book, you'll know more than 99% of YouTubers on how to lose weight and keep it off for the rest of your life.
So here are some foods I recommend and which I have every single day.
And so he states, these are some of the foods that I like to eat to be in a calorie surplus. But listen, all you really need to do is eat high calorie dense foods, the opposite of what I preach, in order to lose weight. And so rather than eating tons of fruit and vegetables, you want to eat things that are higher in fat and calories, things like nuts or high fatty fish foods, steaks, or even foods that are high in calories that are easy to eat on the go. And remember, it's okay if they're not perfectly healthy. It doesn't have to be chicken, broccoli, and rice. It's okay to eat crackers and pretzels, even chips and ice cream. Just do so in moderation. Or if you want, you can follow the Wolverine's diet. 8,000 calories, you can eat half of that. Most certainly you're going to lose weight. And it's go quite literally, if you just eat half of what Hugh Jackman eats in a day, you're going to in fact gain weight. And I say that for 99.9% of people. If you're a skinny teenager having a hard time gaining weight and you eat half of what Hugh Jackman's eating, well, you're going to gain weight. But of course, we know Hugh Jackman's lying. He's not actually eating all that. And if it was really that easy, you just take Hugh Jackman's diet, take half of it out, and eat. It would be easy. It would be easy, simple. But it's not that simple. And so forget what you read on the internet. Forget all these superstars saying that they bulk on 8,000 calories. They do not. To gain weight, you only need a slight surplus. It doesn't have to be 1,000 calorie surplus every single day. As long as you're in a surplus, you're slowly going to gain weight. And I can't tell, but he puts a clip, and I feel like it's Exercise for Cheats video, where he's remaking a healthier version of a blizzard of some sort, where he would blend and mix up protein ice cream. And so if you are trying to get ice cream, you're trying to make it healthier with lots of protein, I have tons of these recipes, the anabolic avalanche protein ice creams and so on. You can get them, find them in my cookbook. They are delicious, high protein recipes for people who like ice cream. But if you're trying to bulk, you can, of course, just eat ice cream. It's okay. Just don't cut out all forms of fruits and vegetables and fiber and other macro and micronutrients. Make sure you get those. But if you are trying to bulk up, it's okay to eat an ice cream sandwich or an ice cream for dessert. And so he states, obviously, to develop muscle, you have to go to the gym and train hard. And what I preach, to train harder than last time. He states, what's really important is that you develop a habit. And what I say to this, you need to like what you're doing. If you like going to the gym, you like your training program, you like doing the cardio that you're doing, you're going to, of course, want to keep doing it. But if you're doing a training program, you hate it, perhaps you don't like doing the bike for cardio, you like running, then do what makes you happy. And if you don't like the specific training plan that you're on, that you're following, well, find a new one. It might be the best training program possible, but if you don't like do it and won't do it, then it's not the best program for you.
In order to maximize my size and my muscle as a skinny individual, this meant for low rep and high intensity.
And for himself, he said he did low reps with high intensity, the majority of the time doing 3 to 7 reps. And for me, I'm going to have to disagree. You don't need to train very heavy. And in fact, this could be dangerous. If you get injured training very heavy, how much training can you possibly do? And so training in these rep ranges, that's mostly for people who are powerlifters training for strength. And so why not make it safer? Make it a little bit easier. At least increase the rep range to perhaps 8 to 15. And so rather than potentially ego lifting very heavy weights, better to lighten the weight a little bit, get used to the training form, the technique, use proper mind-muscle connection, go slower on the way down on the eccentric, faster powered up on the concentric, and perhaps pause the weight at the hardest part. That makes it a lot easier. It's going to increase TUT, the time under tension, allow you to more effectively to build muscle.
Most of my life, I do understand the frustration. But you need to understand that the only person who can make this happen is you. I've given you the tools and things I use to gain the physique I have now.
And so in the end, it's on your shoulders. You're the one that has to put in the work. You can watch every video. You can listen to me screaming and shouting at you. You can hear me saying, get GO2 Max, the main ingredient, NMN, can significantly improve your cardio, make you feel better, and also been shown to improve your mood. And it's not the placebo effect. They had double-blind human studies, placebo controlled. And so you can get this or any of my supplements, code Greg, 10% off. And if you have no money at all, you can't afford anything, including the cookbooks, you can get my free diet and training program. It's over 50 pages. Click the link in the description. You enter your first and last name, email address. It's free for you. What's your excuse? Get started. Whether you have no money, lots of money, you have a program out there for you. And if you want to follow Samuel Burgess's progress, please subscribe to his channel on YouTube. You can check him out. I often see people writing comments like, this channel's underrated. Meanwhile, it's 500,000 or 1 million followers. How is that underrated? Underrated is when you have 1,000 followers, you're giving good information where people can learn from. And so please go and check them out. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm. Don't forget to watch the tube loops. And of course, cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team, the Circle Diet book, my clothing line, all the harder than last time supplements. Use code Greg, 10% off. Follow me on Instagram, Greg Doucette IPU Pro. And until next time, I am out.